Welcome to Cultivating with Sandra. Today is Monday, so we have Medicinal Monday. And today's topic is ginger. Ginger is our topic today. So, we are glad that you're here. I have my handy notes here to make sure that I remember to tell you everything that I researched about ginger. So we want to welcome all of you. This is Medicinal Monday, where we explore plants, herbs, and natural ingredients that have been traditionally used for wellness at home, using what you grow in your garden or using what you can quickly purchase. Today we are going through a second herb, which is ginger. So today's topic will be all about ginger. Please remember that this content is educational purposes only, and we do not intend to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases. Always consult your qualified healthcare provider before starting any herbal or wellness practice. That is something that I have to say each time. So bear with me on that. So let's start with ginger. Before I do, I want to read real quick all these benefits of ginger. So, this is what we're talking about. So, ginger can support the head and the nervous system with headache, tension, headache, migraine, dizziness, motion sickness, nausea from anxiety and stress. Ginger can also help your heart, your blood, and your circulation. That's mean poor circulations, your cold feet or your cold hands, blood stagnation, mild blood pressure support, and supporting your healthy cholesterol level. It can also help your lungs and respiratory system with the cold and the flu system, the coughs, the congestion, the sore throat, and the bronchitis discomfort. It also is antimicrobial, warming, and breaks up mucus. For your digestive system, ginger um, is one of the strongest area, and it is good for nausea during pregnancy, motion sickness, and chemotherapy related. Upset stomach, gas and bloating, indigestion, acid reflux in mild cases, stomach cramps, slow digestion, food poisoning support because it stimulates the digestive enzymes and calm the gut spasms. And also for muscle, joint, and inflammation, it helps with arthritis, pain, joint stiffness, muscle soreness, back pain, menstrual cramp, and inflammatory condition. It is also a version of ibuprofen. And it also fights infection for the immune system. It fights infections, fever support. If you have a fever and you drink ginger tea, it will make you sweat it all out. Also is good for preventing illness and shortening cold and flu duration. It's also good for hormonal and productive support, menstrual cramp, heavy periods, PMS inflammation, and nausea during early pregnancy. And for metabolism, it can support liver function, gentle detoxification, mild support for the sugar blood balance, and weight management support because it improves insulin sensitivity and circulation. For your mouth and your throat, it relieves sore throat, gum inflammation, and breath bacteria. And other common uses are we could use it with fresh tincture, infused honey, dry ginger powder, ginger compresses, and ginger chews. So those are all the benefits of ginger. And I'm glad that you're here so we could talk about it together. We want to remind you that just like ginger, like last week we talked about cayenne pepper, that it was warming. For those of us that cannot use cayenne pepper so easily, ginger will be your next best thing to do. So, what is ginger? Ginger is a root. Well, technically, it's a rhizome, meaning that it grows underground and stores energy. And what it means that it stores energy is it stores starch, protein, and carbs. So that is what makes it different to a root, because a root in a plant is absorbs the nutrients absorbs the water, absorbs what it needs for it to produce something. But a rhizome or a ginger root, it provides its own protein, starch, and carbohydrates. It creates it, and creating this or having this allows them to survive droughts and allows them to survive cold weather. So what it does, it goes dormant until the right conditions are there. And once the right conditions are there, it starts producing more. And also about ginger, it grows horizontally. It grows to the side. So I have a ginger, and I wish I had brought it here, but I'm solo today. So it grows to the side. So I planted. You could just take a piece of ginger, just like this, and you can just cover it in some soil, moist soil, and make sure that the temperature is around 75 degrees. It doesn't like really cold temperatures because it becomes dormant. So you could cover it up, and eventually you'll see the ginger plant coming up. But what we really want is the rhizome, the ginger root. It has been used for many thousands of years across for culinary ingredients and traditional herbal medicine. It is considered warming, like I told you earlier, and is good when you use it for cold, sluggish, and congested times. So this is fresh ginger. This is powdered ginger. We have both, and we'll talk about these benefits. So if you have been following me for the last month, we have made couple of remedies to help us with cold and flu, and one of them was fire cider. And if you remember, our fire cider does have ginger root in it because of all the benefits of it. And this week we are maybe not this week, but next week I'm trying to leave it as close to 4 weeks, 2 months, and it's been over a month. But this is a fire starter. It is very beneficial for our health, and we have some videos on YouTube, and also I link them on my webpage, cultivatingwithsandra.com, and you could click the link to actually see that video. Also, even though I didn't do a full video on this one, there are many short videos on how to make a flu balm. And this one is good for the flu, for the cold, for the asthma, for allergies, and all of that. And this one is infused in honey, but it has ginger. So it has all of this goodness in it. So ginger, as we can see already, in two of our ingredients that we have done, we have included ginger. Also, if you've been following us, we made a ginger bug. Remember, there was two methods of making a ginger bug, and that ginger bug was 2 cups of water, 2 cups of ginger, fresh ginger. Remember, you want ginger to be fresh, organic ginger. If you cannot find fresh organic ginger, or they're expensive for your budget, then what you want to do is you want to soak the ginger in vinegar and baking soda for a while, and then you want to peel it also, and that will allow some of that preservative, so not preservatives, but those pesticide that many people use for to make sure that there's no bugs and insects on it. It comes out and you don't ingest it. So you will do unchlorinated water, 2 cups. You will do 2 cups of ginger, 2 tablespoons of ginger, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then every day you will add 1 tablespoon of ginger and 1 tablespoon of sugar, and you will end up with a ginger bug. This ginger bug sat in our counter for 7 days before we started seeing all these bubbles, so that means it's fermented. And I always use organic ginger. So from this, we use that to make a ginger ale, and this is organic ginger ale. And what I'll do, I'll I shook it. I shouldn't have shaken it before I open it, but I want you to see that it's just like soda. So you see it bubbling, and it's a very a good for your gut health. So those are the things that we have already done with ginger. So it tells you that ginger is super, super important for our digestive system. It's super, super important for our health, for our gut health, for our pain. And today we'll go quickly over some of the recipes that you can use ginger um, if you want to try it. We always tell you that you need to try. If you want to try, you will need to try it slowly and make sure that your body agrees with it before you move on to the next step. So we went over a lot of the benefits of it. So what is the difference between, here we got it. Here we have it. Hopefully I could get it in both cameras. So we have fresh ginger. Oh, here's the big piece. We have ginger that have been diced and dried. And we have powdered ginger. How you use it is up to you. The easiest way or to use ginger is to use it fresh. Oh, and I forgot. We also did an infused honey and ginger. So you may want to try this if you really don't like the taste of ginger. To me, it's an acquired taste. I like it. You may want to just infuse some ginger in honey, and then that way you have the benefits here in a small amount, sweet amount that you will like better. So fresh ginger is the best medicinal value that you will have. Um, it is brighter taste, is more aromatic, is great for teas and soups and honey and fermentation and cooking and fermentation like we showed you earlier, and it's more lively. Now when you get dry ginger, either um, dry here or in the powder form, it is more concentrated. It is spicier, if you want to say, it has this the fresh ginger does have a spicy aftertaste, but the ground ginger makes it stronger in a different way. But it's still good for tea blends, for capsules. If you have to have ginger and you have to increase the benefit of ginger, or if you see that ginger benefits you, but you really, really do not like the taste, what you can do is you could take it in capsules. So you will get the the ground ginger, and then you'll put it on your little capsule it, and then just take as many as your doctor recommends, or as many as you think you need. But you always want to start small. You always want to start very, very small, because you need to make sure that it agrees with your body. So what we are going to do is I want to show you some ways that you can use ginger and how it could fit in your life. Because remember, it doesn't matter if something is good for you. If you cannot fit it in your life, you cannot like the taste, then there's no need for you to make it, even though it could be something that could save your life. So I'm gonna show you different ways that we can use it. That way you choose what's best for you and what suits your life. So we are gonna do ginger tea. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get a small piece of ginger, and I want you to start small. And I want you, this ginger has been cleaned, it's been soaked, it's dried, and it's organic also. So what you want to do is that you want to dice, it's for me, you want to dice this ginger or grate this ginger as much or as little as you want. But as you notice, I started with a small piece. And you could even start a smaller piece than this. Okay? So you have this small amount. Then once you cut it or you grate it, it's up to you. If you want to peel it, go ahead and peel it, because it's really up to you how you want to handle it. You get your cup, you put your ginger in it, and then you pour some hot water. I don't know if you heard my kettle going. So you'll pour some hot water, as much or as little as you want, and you let it steep for 15 to 20 minutes. Some people take it as early as 10 minutes, and that's fine. It's up to you. It's how strong you want it. So this is your ginger tea. So you wash your ginger, you slice or grate your ginger, you add some hot water, you let it sit for 10 to 20 minutes. Let's make it like that, from 10 to 20 minutes. The reason why you want to cover it is because all of that medicinal value, all that oil is coming out, and you don't want it, the steam to leave your cup, because then you're leaving some beneficial benefits that could help you. So then you leave it this, you strain it. If you want to strain it, some people swallow the ginger pieces along with it. I don't. I strain mine. And then what you can do is you could add honey. I don't add any sweeteners to my teas, so I would drink it straight. So either, but you can add honey, and you can add sugar. Just try not to use any artificial sugars. Um, but that's your ginger tea. Easy. So that's that. So what other thing that you could do is your ginger honey. Remember that if your goal is consistency, tea will be a great start because it's quick. You could get in morning or in the evening. Some people take ginger tea to go to sleep. It relaxes your body. And some people do it to start the day. Today, I started my day with some ginger tea. Another way is to infuse the ginger. What I did on this one is, so this one is already strained. We did this one week 2. We are on week 6. So I actually strained it yesterday. So what I did is I filled up a third of the jar with fresh ginger, and then I covered it up with honey. So that, and then I let it sit for, I think it was 4 weeks that I let it sit. But you could do it as much as little as 2 weeks. Okay, so that is another way of you using ginger, especially if you need it for nausea. Some people make ginger chews. In another short, I'll probably show you how to make some ginger chews. It's very good. It's beneficial. It's quick on the go. When I'm going out of town, I never leave my house without any ginger chews. I like to take ginger chews after I eat too, especially if I overeat or if I feel very bloated. Ginger, a little bit of ginger honey or ginger tea or ginger chew will be beneficial to you. Okay, so we talked about the tea, we talked about the honey, and also that ginger honey is good for throat support and daily wellness. So if you wanted to take a little bit every day, you could. The other way to do it is a ginger bug, which I explained to you a little while ago how to do it, but let me review it. 2 cups of unchlorinated water, 2 tablespoons of ginger, 2 tablespoons of sugar. You shake it, you leave it on your counter. 24 hours passes, a day pass, you add another tablespoon of sugar, another tablespoon of ginger, you shake it, you leave it on the counter. Oh, you probably hear this. Oh, hold on. So when you're having it in the counter, what you want to do is you want to get either a paper towel or something just to cover it. I use coffee filter. because you do not want to keep the top on it. If you do keep the top on it, then what you want to do is you want to burp it a couple of times a day to make sure that it doesn't fill up with gas, and then your lid will start buckling. So, and that's because it's going through the fermentation. And then the next thing, another tablespoon of sugar, another tablespoon of ginger, and you shake it again and you leave it on the counter. Ginger bugs like the temperature of between 75 and 85. You know how hard that is to do in your house during the winter. But that is their ideal weight. I mean, their ideal temperature. Now, if you want to do some heating, you have to make sure that you have a thermometer. Let me see if I could find mine, because I keep it over here. It is. You want to keep that you have your thermometer to check the temperature, because once this goes over 85 degrees, you're killing its benefits. Just like honey. Honey, if you add this into your tea or into anything, you have to make sure that it is between 90, the tea or whatever it is below 104 degrees. Anything about 104 degrees is going to start killing some of the benefits of the honey. The beneficial properties start diminishing after 98, 98.9. So 99. Just think about a low fever, 99. Anything above 99, you start losing some of the benefit. But the worst one is anything above 105 degrees. And this is 105 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a point about the honey. But if you are going to put this on a heating mat, you have to make sure and test it every time. I just took this out of the refrigerator not too long ago. So it's like 65 degrees. But you don't want this to go above 85 degrees, because you start killing all the good bacteria that is fermenting in here. So once this is fermented and you can see it, you can give it a last feeding of a tablespoon of sugar and a tablespoon of ginger. You could use it immediately to make your ginger soda, or to make your a couple of weeks ago we did pineapple soda, and we did a pineapple and hibiscus soda. Those were great. And then you could put it in your refrigerator, and then you just feed it once a month, a tablespoon of sugar and a tablespoon of ginger, and then you use it whenever you want to use it. Some people may just drink the ginger bug just like that, and that is fine. Or if you have a juice that you want, you could use a tablespoon or two of your ginger bug, and you put it in your juice, and it brings probiotic. The sweeter your juice, the more active your ginger bug will be. So that is a great way to combat all the good bacteria that your body lost when you were taking those antibiotics. Because remember, antibiotics kill good and bad bacteria. So that is another way for us to use ginger. And then another way is for you to do a ginger syrup. A ginger syrup is can be made for sodas. It also can be made for mocktails and some soothing blend. So what you do is that you get 1 cup of freshly chopped or sliced ginger, and then you get 2 cups of unchlorinated water. It could be distilled water, it could be spring water, as long as it doesn't have any chlorine. And then you steam it and you reduce the amount. Do not put it on a rapid boil. You just simmer it for around 20 to 30 minutes. And once it's simmered for 20 to 30 minutes, you want to strain out all of the pieces, and then you add the sugar or your honey. And you will add 1 to 2 cups of sugar or honey. depending on the sweetness that you prefer. And this will become a simple, like a simple syrup, but it will be a ginger syrup. And then you can store that in your refrigerator for around 2 to 3 weeks. Now, the more sugar it has, the longer it will last. The less sugar it have, 2 weeks will be the maximum that you could use it. And then you could add a table or two, add 1 or 2 tablespoons to your drinks. You could also drizzle it in your tea, and you could also make it as a base for your probiotic soda. So that's another way to use your ginger root or rhizome. The last one that I want to talk to you about is ginger compress. You know that what we talked about last week, that we could use cayenne pepper for a lot of things. Well, for some people, cayenne pepper is way too strong. And although ginger is more tolerable for people, um, it's easier. You could use it the same way as you would use cayenne pepper. So a ginger compress will be good because it will warm your body. So what you will do, you will get some fresh ginger and you want to cut it or grate it as much as you can. You can also use ginger powder. For this one, you could use ginger powder. And then what you do is you put 2 to 3 tablespoon of this ginger, grated or cut or dice really small pieces. Or you could use, this is 2 to 3, and this one you could use just one. And you put it in some water. So you put it in a bowl. You put it you 1 to 2 tablespoon, you 1 tablespoon in this bowl, and then you pour hot water over it, and then you let it cover, put a lid on it or a cover on it, so you could let it steep for 5 minutes. Minimum is 5 minutes. If you want to leave it longer, that's fine. Then what you want to do, you want to get a cloth. Let's pretend this is a cloth. You want to get a cloth and you want to soak the cloth into that ginger water. And then you want to squeeze all the excess water. And then you want to make sure that it's tolerable to the touch. And then you're going to place it wherever your joints are hurting. So let's say it was my elbow. I will place it there on my elbow and I will leave it there for 10 to 20 minutes. And you will start feeling, not as fast as the cayenne pepper, but you will start feeling it working and dulling the pain. And then after 15-20 minutes, your pain should be gone. And then you could dip it in another area, and this will be a lot gentler on your skin than cayenne pepper would be. But make sure that you test it in a spot to make sure that you're not it doesn't irritate it. And then you could use it once a day or as needed. That is the fifth way of using our ginger. One other thing that you can do, which just came to mind, is ginger oil. You can do ginger oil. What you would do, it will be the same thing. You will get your ginger. You could use dry ginger or you could use fresh ginger. The difference about dry and fresh when you infuse it in an oil is that the dry will last longer. Your oil can last up to a year. When you do it with fresh, then it reduces the amount, how long you could use it, and it's probably could last 6 months. You could extend it a little bit longer, but you have to make sure that you smell it, that it doesn't have any mold, it doesn't have anything that could be turning the oil bad or rancid. So what you would do is you could use a bottle if you have the dry ginger, and then you put half, a third to half of a bottle. Like let's say I wanted to make some ginger oil, this would be the most that I would use, right? And then I will fill it up completely all the way to the top with some organic extra virgin oil. And then I will let this sit in a dark, cool place for 4 to 6 weeks. And you're like, Really? 4 to 6 weeks? Yes, 4 to 6 weeks. But if you want it sooner, what you want to do is you want to get a crock pot, and then you put it in, you put a cloth at the bottom of the crock pot. You fill it up with water so it could cover up to right here. And then you set it in your crock pot in the warm setting. You open it or you leave it open, and you just place it on your crock pot just like that. And um you let it sit in that warm environment for at least 2 hours. I when I have to do it the fast way, I'll do it for 24 hours. My crock pot automatically turns off after 24 hours on the warm setting. So, and actually I have some that I just made. So this, you leave it there for at least 2 hours. Make sure that the temperature is not above 110 degrees. Um, and then you let it, and then you have ginger oil. Now, you could do the same thing with fresh ginger root. Let's say that you don't have time to dehydrate, you don't have dry ginger root, and you don't have time to dehydrate, because that's another 24 hours, 12 to 24 hours. So what you do is you get a cup of fresh ginger root, and then a cup and a half of extra virgin organic olive oil. And then what you can do, you can also put it in the crock pot. You can also put it on your stove if you can control the temperature to be below 150 degrees. As long as you keep it under 150 degrees, you could cook it on your stove. And you would do that for 2 hours. On the stove, I wouldn't go longer than 2 hours at 150. On the crock pot, I would leave it 24 hours or 2 hours, depending on how you. Then you get the oil, you strain it, you put the oil in a glass container. If it's ambered, that will be even better. It's the dark color. It doesn't matter what color it is, as long as it's dark. Um, and you fill up your oil, and then you let it sit for 2 weeks, and the aroma will start developing, and you could use it up to 6 months. And what you could use that for, you could actually, instead of getting the water and the ginger and soaking this, letting it steep for 5 minutes and soaking it, what you could do is you could just put a drop or two of your ginger oil in wherever it's hurting. Also, you can use that same oil to cook. So instead of getting regular olive oil, you have ginger olive oil, and then you could use it for your recipe. That's another way that you could incorporate your ginger. And also, you could use that same ginger and turn it into a salve, and you put it in one of those containers, and then you have it, and you could do the salve. Remember, the purpose of the salve, it has beeswax, and the reason is so it could stay put. When you have oil, it could spread, or it's easier for it to transfer somewhere else, or to your clothing, or wherever you pass, or whoever touches you. When it comes to a salve, it can still transfer, but it doesn't transfer as much. And then it stays put a lot better, the salve does, than the oil. So that's another way. So you will get some oil. I said, let's pretend this is your oil. You'll pour some oil, and then you put some beeswax in it, and you melt it down to make sure, and then you put it in your little tin jar, and then you have it ready. The other thing that you can use, instead of using olive oil, you could also use coconut oil. So you have organic coconut oil. You will put also a cup and a half of coconut oil, and then a cup of fresh ginger root, and then you will do the same process. But coconut oil, you could also cook with it. But coconut oil is also, many people use it for their hair. So they'll have their hair for length and for strength. because the ginger root will stimulate your scalp, and it will stimulate growth. So that's another way that you can use ginger oil for. I hope that is making some sense to you. So please, just like we have with the cayenne pepper, we want to make sure that you understand to use it responsibly. Ginger is generally well tolerated, but start small, especially if you have a sensitive stomach or you have sensitive skin. You don't want to do it all the way, all the full strength. Or if you're pregnant, if you're on medication, if you're managing a medical condition, please talk to your healthcare provider. What you don't want to do is you're going to start a herbal remedy that um, speeds the progress with the medicine. You don't want it to send that medicine to high dosage or whatever, to extra high, and then it will be it could hurt your health. So you want to make sure your doctor knows that you're doing some herbal remedies. um, some people use the herbal medicine with their prescription. That is up to you, but I want you to do your research to make sure that you understand how it's going to interact with your prescription. We want to make sure that your prescription doesn't hurt your prescription, or vice versa. It just become double the dosage with the herbal medicine and your prescription. Um, Also, if you use a lot of ginger, it could, if you have a sensitive stomach, it could irritate your stomach. So if it does, you could reduce the amount of ginger that you use for your tea or for your cooking, and then start gradually. So I would even start gradually. Oh, I didn't feel it. Oh, I didn't do anything. Okay. And then after a week or so, you may increase it a little bit more. Oh, okay. And then increase it until you get the dosage that best works for you. Remember that herbs, any herbs, are powerful. Even common kitchen herbs are very, very powerful. So you want to always treat them with respect. Remember that the first thing before we had pharmaceutical prescription, everything that we use were herbs, plants, everything that God had put on this earth for us. So ginger is perfect for a lot of things, but we want to make sure that you use it safely. So today's goal was not to overwhelm you with recipes. It was more to help you understand the benefits and how you could use ginger as a tool to confidently use it for your health. Your goal is for your health. So let me know in the comments, have you ever used ginger? And if you have you used it fresh, dried, or in powder? I would love to hear the ways that you have used it. Thank you for joining me. I don't see any questions. Let me see right quick if there's any questions. Um, I don't see any questions. So let us know if we could be a benefit to you. Let us know how you have used ginger before. And remember that let your kitchen, your spices, be your apothecary, one remedy at a time. Have a blessed day. Thank you for joining us. If you join us on Thursdays, we'll see you Thursday outside in the garden. And if you see us on Monday, we'll see you next Monday for the next warming herb. We did two already. We did cayenne pepper. Today we did ginger. We have another warming herb coming up. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed day. See you next time.